Hi guys, Shelley Fitzgerald with Sew Shelley Quilts. I want to show you how to make this darling little design very quickly, very easy, using the BERNINA 880. It has a shaping tool and it's just the coolest function ever. And I think we sometimes forget about it. So maybe it's new to you and you'll be excited to see it, or maybe you've forgotten it's there. But let me show you how to make this great design. Please subscribe to Sew Shelley Quilts on this YouTube channel. I'd sure appreciate it. I'm going to show you how to use the shaping tool on the BERNINA 880. The shaping tool is only on the BERNINA 880, and it's just an awesome thing to have access to. You're going to love it. If you're not already using it, I hope this would inspire you to do so. I'm showing you this on a BERNINA 880 simulator, and you can download the simulators for these machines from the BERNINA website. So let's get started. I'm at the house function. This is where you decide whether to go for sewing or embroidery, and I'm going to move to the embroidery side. When I get here, I'd like to get a built-in design out, and those are in the butterfly folder. And this BERNINA 8 folder is full of other folders of designs. So BERNINA 8 folder and then folder 9. And right here, design number 10 is what we're going to be using today. Now, I find that a little bit difficult to see. So I want to change the color on that. So here we go. And up at the top here, I'm going to show you color a couple of different ways during this lesson, but the first way is just by touching the color wheel itself. And I'm just going to change how this design looks and decide how I would like for that design to look. So I kind of like that. That's dark and I can see it. So once it's on a color that I like, I'm just going to hit edit, the pencil right here, and now that color is on my screen. If when you're working with your machine, your design came up in the small or the medium hoop, then what you would do is come to the side here, and this is your hoop selection window, and you would hold and scroll until you found the jumbo hoop. That's the one we're using today. And then X out of that window. So now we have our design in the jumbo hoop in a dark color we can see, and I'm going to open the tools, the information, the function button. I'm not quite sure what you want to call this circle with a letter I in it, but that's where all the tools live. So we're going to touch that, and that expands a toolbox of things that you can use. And so the one we're going to be looking at is this arc. And once again, if you need to hold and scroll, you hold and move up and down to get to where you can see what it is you're looking for. And then you tap to select. You hold to scroll and tap to select. And what I tapped was the shaping tool, that arc. The shaping tool is awesome. It brings up all sorts of shapes that you can apply embroidery to the perimeter of. We're going to use the default, or the first one, which is the square. I'm going to increase the number of motifs to 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And it spread them out around the corners. So that's too big. So I'm going to decrease the size of the square itself. And this is the white chain is locked, so I can proportionately decrease that square just by hitting either of these minus buttons. And I went down to 60%. So now I'll hit check to confirm, and look what we did. Isn't that amazing? So I'm going to X out of here, and use the folder, the top right, and I'm going to save this into my favorites. That's the folder with the heart on it. So this third icon down, when I open that, it will already be selected, and all I have to do is hit the green check to confirm. So let's make a totally different design. We're not adding to this one. We're going to go get a new design. So I'm going to hit the file folder and get something out. I'm going into the butterfly again, Bernina folder number 8, and then folder number 9. And then I'm going to scroll over and I'm going to choose design number 11. That design is also a color that I would prefer to change. So I'm going to touch the color wheel again. And this time, let's do it differently. I'm going to use the little white circling arrows to the right of that color. And when I get there, I could just shop for a color by scrolling, but I also can use this 0 to 9 search function and put in the color I want. And I think I want 3543 is what I want, royal blue. And so there is the little flower in a darker color. To go back to editing, I hit the pencil. That's my editing screen. Then I'm going to open my toolbox. Once again, if you needed to change your hoop, you would come to the hoop selection window and choose the jumbo hoop. If you were not in the jumbo, make sure that you are. And then close the hoop selection window. And then now that I've got that, I'm going to open my tools and I'm going to find the shaping tool again. And I'm still going to use the square, so I'm going to increase the motifs to 4. And once again, decrease the size of the square itself to 60%. Then I'm going to hit check. And there's our new design, perfectly spaced little daisies. I want to rotate those to 45 degrees. So since they're selected, I'm going to choose rotate. And I'll use either white knob and turn it up to 45 degrees. I think on the simulator I can go to 44 or 47. Yep, so I'm going to go to 44. That's very close. It'll be just fine. And now I am going to add a design. So this white plus sign right here is what I want. And then I'm going to come back to the folder file to get something out. And we put the design we already created in the heart folder, our favorites folder, and there it is. And now both of those are in the screen together. So there's those two designs that we created. If I touch the bottom layer, I can see them both at one time. Let's do one more thing, or a couple more things actually. First, I'm going to close my tools with the X and go back to the file folder, and I'm going to go ahead and save this design also. So I'm going to put it in the file folder and hit the green check. And now that's been saved, just in case. So let's add a monogram to this. I'm going to use the plus sign right here to add something to the design that's already on the screen. This time I'm going into the alphabets. You can choose any alphabet you want, but I happen to choose one out of file 13. My last name is Fitzgerald. I'm going to choose an F and hit the green check. I think this would look nicer if it was increased in size. So I'm going to open my embroidery tools again. And this second icon on the first column is resize proportionately. It doesn't matter. It's just the size that you think it might look nice. I'm going to hit the small I. I'm going to move that a little bit in the screen, just touching it and moving it. Now I will be concerned making it that long that the density needs corrected. So while it is selected, I'm going to zoom in on it and look. And sure enough, by increasing that size, I may have made those stitches a little bit too far apart to look as smooth and satin as I would like. And so in the toolbox, I'm still in the toolbox, I'm going to hold and scroll until I see this little square with a zigzag over it, and that is our density function. I'm going to hit the plus sign and increase the density of that to about 120, 125. Just guesswork. I mean, you'd look at it, test it, and then of course make a test stitch out of that letter. But let me zoom in on that again and show you how much closer those stitches ended up being and how smooth that satin stitch will be. So remember over here that this icon changes the density of embroidery designs. All right, let's go into this F and close our functions and open our colors and use the circling white arrows. And I'm going to use the search function 0 to 9 and put in my color. It was 3543, and I'm going to make that the same color as the rest. I'll go back to edit and open my functions and open ... plus. And so here I'll add that layer. So I've selected one, and the one above it will be grouped with it when I hit ... plus again. Now it's all in one layer. I'm going to close the screen. I can hit the stitching button. You see I have 9 colors here. I don't want that. So I'm going to use these 3 spools of thread and combine all those colors, and now look, I just have 1. And so it's going to do the whole design as if it were one color. And I would just send it to the machine. It really stitches well. It's a cool design. It's almost going to fill that jumbo hoop. And I hope you stitch it out or start playing with your shaping tool. Please subscribe. Like I said, I would love to have more subscribers on my YouTube channel and be able to interact with more of you on a consistent basis. So do subscribe. This is Shelley Fitzgerald with Sew Shelley Quilts, and that's what I wanted you to see today. Bye for now.